And so we're normally long because we think the markets are going to go up, another huge amount, like another order of magnitude.
Billionaire Dan Morehead, who is the founder of Pantera Capital, crypto investing expert, explains the real reason why Bitcoin is going much higher in 2025. It's crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
Watch today's whole video. Dan shares 3 altcoins he has the most conviction for in this upcoming bull run.
We're always just looking at which other tokens are interesting. We have a big position in.
Highly recommend you watch today's whole video. I'll also share with you pretty big altcoin news.
He's here on set with us, Pantera Capital founder and managing partner, Dan Morehead. Dan, great to see you again.
Great to see you.
So this is a great year for crypto. Next year is going to be even better.
Click subscribe to Altcoin Daily and join the 1.53 million members of the Altcoin Daily Army, which you subscribe for 1 video per day, keeping you informed about crypto. And Dan, let's start with 2025. Why will next year be better for crypto than 2024?
And on what? Because a lot of this year feels like pull forward of the expectation that something will happen in the regulatory environment that will be very beneficial for Bitcoin and crypto in general, and we don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. The uncertainty, we're holding investors back, and I think over 2025, you're going to get much more clear regulations, and that'll allow institutions to come into the space. And presently, most institutions really have almost zero exposure to blockchain, so once they start engaging in the space, it should do well.
And Dan Morehead is a billionaire. He runs an institutional fund, meaning he is Wall Street. He talks to these institutions and listen to what's changed.
So what kind of conversations are you having now to segue into that time when institutions can actually allocate money?
Oh, it's really changed since the election. Last summer when the markets were very low and we had very little interest. And since the election, so many people are trying to figure out how to get exposure to the space.
But can Bitcoin's price really, I'm talking realistically, go that much higher when we have institutions like Microsoft who understand technology, yet just rejected the Bitcoin proposal that was pitched by Michael Saylor?
When you hear a Microsoft, I think Michael Saylor just pitched the whole Bitcoin strategy of MicroStrategies to Microsoft. They passed. I think they might have passed in a prior lifetime, but they passed recently. Thoughts on that, he is obviously pushing that, but a lot of people are sort of backing away. I mean, is there another company that has to come in to sort of galvanize what Michael's done?
He's done a great job, raising awareness, but probably most big corporations are not going to have Bitcoin on their balance sheet, just like they don't have yen or bonds or, gold or whatever. But big institutions, insurance companies, pension plans, endowments, they're the ones that are going to come in and really push this market up.
Well, as of last month, the first UK pension fund ever invested in Bitcoin. Really, this was the first year it was even ever possible in the United States, starting 12 months ago. But with the top 300 pension funds having over $22.6 trillion in assets under management, we have literally not seen a drop in the bucket. So what changes that?
So what's preventing them right now, those big institutions? I mean, for some of them, I think there seems to be nothing preventing them. But what are some of the regulations that would be lifted that would allow that to happen?
Well, it's been very unclear what is a security and what is not a security. The regulators in the U.S. are pursuing lawsuits against some of the bigger companies in this space, and so that gives institutions pause. If that gets cleared up, you could imagine institutions wanting to get access to a new asset class. This is very similar to commodities in the 80s or emerging markets in the 90s or mortgages in the 70s and 80s. It's just a new asset class, and most people don't have exposure to it yet.
Dan, people keep talking about regulation or more clarity and the like here. How much of this move do you think has to do with, and Trump had been saying this on the campaign trail, the idea of some sort of Bitcoin reserve for the country?
And this is the single biggest thing I took away in this interview, so valuable. Dan speaking to the likelihood of a U.S. Bitcoin strategic reserve, why it's needed, and this is one crazy stat.
I think that is actually a really important thing. When you're the reserve currency of the world, you don't have somebody else's currency to save in. So the United States doesn't have another currency. It stores $600 billion in gold, which is a staggering amount. It's equivalent to 11 million years of American worker wages. So that's kind of crazy. Go to digital gold. Bitcoin is much better. And so I do think it's totally rational. The U.S. already owns 1% of the world's Bitcoins. Keep that, increase that. So I do think it is actually a really good policy. There's a couple countries that already do own Bitcoin. it'd be great for the U.S. to get out in the lead.
Now, like always, be prepared for nasty corrections, right? Volatility goes in both directions. I do think Bitcoin's going much higher, but there will be corrections along the way. And understanding all that, before we get to Dan's top 3 crypto coins he's most bullish on,
We have a big position in.
let's go over this recent news with Lingo. Because Lingo, as they describe themselves, building the world's most rewarding token, Lingo is the first RWA-powered rewards ecosystem for the next billion in Web3. OGs of the channel will remember I interviewed HM, the founder, over a year ago. What is Lingo? Now, full disclosure, I am an investor. They're a partner of the channel. But the Lingo revolution is beginning. In the first 24 hours, again, this just launched, the Lingo ecosystem has generated over $600,000 for the RWA pool. This is a major milestone that proves our economic model. Generated value are reinvested into RWAs, where 100% of the net cash flow will fuel the community rewards. And let's just refresh everybody and go over some of the basics. Because when we say the world's most rewarding token, what does that mean? Well, how it works. Lingo introduces a new model of generating tangible community rewards supported by real-world assets. So the business model is as they generate platform fees, which first 24 hours, they have over $600,000 in fees for the RWA pool. The business model reinvests the platform fees into RWAs, creating consistent value, ideally compounding growth, and a flywheel to keep the practice moving. And just to be clear exactly how this works, the world's most rewarding token.
The way it works is you either buy Lingo or you do quests to win Lingo. That's step 1. Step 2 is once you do that, you receive loyalty points. And step 3 is you can change those points for free stuff. It can be vacations, shopping, tickets. So there's around 3,000 brands that we're partnering with.
So first you need some Lingo. Either you earn Lingo or you buy Lingo. Then you earn loyalty points. And with those, think of this similar to like what American Express does or airline miles does. If you get enough, you get rewarded. You get perks. Again, all this generates fees for the reward pool. And this is where the real world assets model comes in, or as HM calls the McDonald's model.
So the way it works is it's very similar to the McDonald's model, where on the front end, McDonald's, they sell burgers, but on the back end, they acquire real estate. If I'm not mistaken, they might be the biggest real estate company in the world. And so for us, it's kind of the same analogy, where on the front end, we're trying to build the most rewarding token in the world. And the more it's rewarding, the more it stimulates trading volume. And the more trading volume happens, the more we can charge fees, but to acquire assets. Now, these assets generate cash flow every month. Now, the idea is to use the cash flow to re-inject back into the rewards ecosystem. So the more rewards we give to the community, the more volume happens and the more assets go up. The more assets go up, the more rewards happen. The more rewards happen, the more assets go up. And the idea is to create this virtuous circle of value creation.
Apparently, this was the best KuCoin listing of the whole year, and that's saying something, the growth. Also, a big green flag for me is who just joined as an advisor. Duncan Murray, former head of significant shareholding at BlackRock, has joined the Lingo advisory board. And in terms of security, meaning who's going to assist in managing, holding some of the RWAs, Lingo secures strategic partnership with Stewards Investment Capital, very well-respected fund. Stewards Investment Capital has over 25 years of experience in RWA management and has deployed more than $1 billion across the US and South Africa. I will link this down below. Check it out. As we discussed earlier this week, there's proven heavy Chainlink accumulation. Link surges to 2021 levels as Trump's crypto project, World Liberty, buys more Chainlink tokens. Again, we just shared this with you. Donald Trump's World Liberty Financial just swapped $5 million in stablecoin for Ethereum, taking their total Ethereum holdings to 55 million, as well as Chainlink and Aave also were swapped. The wallet now holds $1 million each of Link and Aave, meaning Trump likes this. How about Dan Morehead?
How do you manage the portfolio in terms of, you have outsized positions now just because of the run. And so where are you trimming, or where have you trimmed, and what are some of the more undervalued cryptos out there?
Yeah, so the fun bit about crypto is we've been doing this for 11 years, and Bitcoin's almost gone a little bit more than doubled this year. And so everyone's talking about, isn't that wild, it doubled. On average, it's done that for 11 years in a row, right? So crypto going up double is not remarkable, actually. And so we're normally long because we think the markets are going to go up, another huge amount, like another order of magnitude possibly. So we're typically long. We're always just looking at which other tokens are interesting. We have a big position in Telegram's token. Solana, Ondo, those are some of ours.
Anybody trading on BitUnex, literally 4 days left for our daily competition. Trade daily to claim your $200 USDT reward as a top trader. Here are the members of the Altcoin Daily audience that won yesterday. Again, this is just for the Altcoin Daily audience. Link down below. Who will win that $200 tomorrow? And like always, see you then.